here. You doing all right?
So,
okay, sir?
have I committed a crime or anything?
No, we just got a call saying there's a gentleman sleeping back here, so we were checking on you.
You got a call saying a gentleman was sleeping back here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But no crime was committed?
No, we just came to check your welfare because they said that you were sleeping back here, so we were seeing what was going on.
How you doing?
I don't need to be checked on. I'm a grown adult. I mean,
we're on private property, and the person from the church is calling about you sleeping. That's why we're here. Do you understand the reason?
Okay, but am I trespassing though?
We can call and see if they want to issue a trespass warning. Right?
Okay, but the initial call was not in reference to a trespass, right?
Initial call is in reference to somebody sleeping in their vehicle on private property. Somebody in the church called about you sleeping on the parking lot right here. We're in the parking lot at the church, right?
I understand that.
Right.
But am I committing a crime right now?
No, but we'll call and see if they want you to stay or want you to leave.
Are they wanting to?
Let me check with you, okay? Let me check back with the calling party.
So we'll check with them. If they want you to leave, you got to go. That's the only issue.
No, that's fine, but I'm, you know.
Well, that's all we're trying to get at, so you're good.
I'm just gonna, I want to step out of my vehicle real quick, so I don't want to hit you.
You're good. Hello?
And your name is Officer Cerdas. What's your badge number, sir?
1246.
1246, okay. Do you know what the date is today?
I do. For you?
What does today say? Okay. And the time?
It's about 11 o'clock. 11:22.
Okay. It's just become a common theme that when I go to churches to park, these places are supposed to be places of sanctuary, not committing a crime. A lot of times I come here to read scripture and meditate and be at peace.
You can do that.
But I'm not understanding why.
We're here because the owner of the church, or the people who run the church, asked for us to come check on you. That was it.
Okay. Why didn't they come check on me? I
don't know. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have been here. Because if they would have came over here and asked you if you were doing okay, they would have called us, right?
Well,
am I wrong?
I'm not. You say that again? I didn't even pay attention to what you're saying.
So I'm asking if they would have came and checked on you and you would have told them you were okay, they probably wouldn't have called us, right?
I understand that.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Okay.
But now it's different.
Yeah, it's just a common theme of this going on. I've had over 30, 20 encounters with law enforcement, so I'm trying to figure out what the deal is. There's other cars that park here sometimes too, so I don't see what the issue is with me. I just had an encounter with another League City police officer, so at a different church. So there's just a common theme. I'm trying to figure out.
The common theme is that you're parked, sleeping or whatever, living out of your vehicle, and they're going to call on you, right? You see that vehicle, there's nobody inside because it's here for the church. It's a little bit different. There's a parking lot for the church, and when people park here, they're going to the church or doing their functions. But you're parking here because you're sleeping.
How did they know that I was in my vehicle, though?
Guess somebody came and saw. The call says a male sleeping inside a vehicle in the back of the parking lot.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up. But you can call dispatch and find out.
I'm not saying that it's made up, but all I'm saying is I'm not committing a crime. I'm at a church parking lot, parked. I could be reading scripture or anything of that nature. So
we have reason to make contact with you because of the call, right? And it being private property. Clearly, you've been here for a while. Your windows are all steamed up. You know, condensation all over the place. So if you're reading scripture, great. I assume, I don't know if you go to this church or know about this church or what, but I'm sure there's somebody inside that'd be happy to talk to you. Who else has contacted you? It looks like a couple other agencies somewhere else. Same reasons, I guess.
No, not the same reason. It's not even all the time that someone has actually called law enforcement. I'm getting officers coming up to me. Oh, are you okay? I'm just checking on you, and no one called them.
Anyway, so I just spoke to the manager. He said you can't stay here.
That's fine.
Okay.
I can leave.
See you later.
What is your name, sir?
Massey.
Massey, and what is your badge number?
Well, I ran out of cards. That's why I was in the back of my car. Here you go. It's got the number for our dispatch and everything else, all right?
All right. I will leave right now. Retaliation. Retaliation. So they get on code with each other to make these phone calls. All of a sudden, I'm getting police calls while I'm at churches. They're trying to have me run out of spots to park at, basically, is what it is. So it's all retaliation. None of this is coincidence. None of it is coincidence. And mind you, I'm in a different vehicle. Keep that in mind. I'm in a different vehicle. I'm not in the Ford Focus, okay? We just had a major storm. Why is anybody coming over here to see if I'm asleep in my car? And you could tell by his attitude that he's heard of me before. You could tell by the way he was interacting with me and how he was so quick to respond and have all these good excuses and everything. Alright, let me put my seatbelt on. He just couldn't wait to get at me, right? Because it seems like I've been making some good points in cases whenever I deal with these officers. So he had to come over there and put his 2 cents in because they're all butthurt. Alright, let me get this stuff out the way. Keep my camera on them while I go ahead and pull off. I can't see. Fog on my window. So I've been to this church before in the Ford Focus, and this is the church where they actually did like the street theater, because I used to park like over straight ahead. But let me wipe these windows down because I cannot see. Oh, I need to grab something to wipe it down with. Guess I will use my shirt. So I put in a request right at that League City Police Department for the other church encounter that I had with the officer with the doing the little tongue thing, and so now this is their retaliation. So again, I used to come to this church in the Ford Focus, and I used to park right over there where that bush is, straight ahead, where these bushes are at, in the Ford Focus, and I would come here pretty often. So they started doing street theater instead of them approaching me saying, hey, what's going on? See, they rather just call the cops, because what it's going to do is going to expose these churches as being, these people that run these churches as being hypocrites. That's what it's going to do. So that's why they rather just not approach me and say anything to me about it. They just rather call the cops on me. You get what I'm saying? They could have came over there and been like, hey, you know, what's his situation? Oh, he's homeless? Okay, well, you know, he's more than welcome to stay, or, you know, something like that. You know, it's just anything that they can do. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not being a nuisance. I'm not playing loud music. I'm not doing anything that is causing an issue other than me just sitting in my car, parked away from the building. That's it. And I get that it's private property. I get that. But at the same time, aren't churches supposed to be places of sanctuary? You understand what I'm saying? These are supposed to be godly people. These are supposed to be people that are Christ-like. So this is going to be the common theme. I guess I'm going to have a new batch of videos of now every single church that I go to, I'm getting law enforcement called on me because I'm sitting there parked at the church. Oh, man. So, yeah, they're butthurt because I put in that a request to find out if there was an actual 911 call that was made. So now this is going to be their retaliation. They're the criminals, not me. They're pursuing and seeking after me any which way that they can. We just had a major storm. It is like flooded out here. It is flooded out here. Today is what? Friday? You can tell by the look on his face when I started asking him for his badge number and all that. He had the little smirk and smile on his face because they've already seen my other videos with all these other law enforcement encounters. So yeah, it's Friday, May 10th, 2019. It's about 11:30 a.m. So they got on code with each other to call law enforcement. This is not a coincidence. Yes, again, I understand that it's private property. Oh, you're on their private property. Listen, it's a church. It's a church, and I've just exposed the hypocrisy with these people. No matter where I go or what I do, if I go get an apartment, there's still going to be harassment. If I go rent a storage place and try to live out of a storage place, they're still going to harass me. It's damned if I do, damned if I don't. That's the way this whole thing works. So don't hold it against me for the whole private property thing. It's different, maybe a little different if I breached, if I walked over a barrier or I jumped a fence or something of that nature. But these places don't have fences. These churches are open to the public. Don't these churches say, come as you are, welcome and all that kind of stuff? So this is the hypocrisy that we're dealing with these churches. So it doesn't matter where I go. It does not matter what I do. You understand? So now it seems like this police department, this League City Police Department, has a personal vendetta against me now. Because I'm actually looking into whether or not that other officer actually got a call on me. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I'll be finding that out within a week. Because when I went up to the League City Police Department, I was informed by the clerk at the desk that only the supervisor has access to the 911 calls that can be released to the public. So she informed me that the supervisor is out for a whole week. So she accepted my request form that she gave to me to fill out and asked me to check back, within a week. So I already have it, in my notes to check back with them in a week to find out about that situation. All these encounters with law enforcement, most of the encounters that I've had, nobody has called the cops on me. That's what I was trying to explain to that other officer that was very talkative and trying to prove his points and cases and whatnot. It's not coincidence. These people are getting on code with each other to do this stuff. It does not matter where I go. It does not matter. They can't just leave me alone. They can't just leave me be. Well, you can't be here because, you just can't be here. Where there's no service here, so you can't be here. Oh, man. This is so ridiculous, man. It is extremely ridiculous. Extremely ridiculous. Now, I have another church that I go to where I got permission to park over there. But see, the thing about that is they're going to try to find ways to get me away from there as well. So instead of spending every day or every night that I'm off from work at that church, what I try to do is I try to spread out my stays. So even though I got permission to be there at that church, I don't want to be there every single day. You get what I'm saying? So I try to spread out where I go so as to kind of disperse you know, my sightings, you know, them seeing me, out of sight, out of mind, right? So if I'm there every so often, I would think that that would be okay, as opposed to me being there every single day, you know, and then they're saying, oh, well, you're actually living there and you can't live there and yada, yada, yada. It's the reason why I'm living out of my vehicle. I don't want to have to live out my vehicle, but considering what I'm having to deal with, what all of us are having to deal with that are being targeted and watched and covertly surveillanced, illegally having our constitutional rights violated, our right to privacy violated, this is what I have to do. This is, I have no choice but to do this in order to sustain some level of peace. Heck, at least with living out my vehicle, I can get in my car and just drive off, just like I did just now. Whenever there's an issue or problem, I can get off my car and try to drive to another location and seek some peace somewhere else. If I get an apartment, they're going to have people move in next to me that's going to be watching me, that's going to be coming outside the apartment every time I come outside the apartment. Get off from work, I come back home. These people are sitting outside the apartment just watching me. For what? What are you watching me for? What are you watching me for? If it's not that, then it's the noise campaigns. I got to deal with people banging on my walls when I go to the bathroom. I got to deal with people stomping above my head as I'm walking throughout my apartment. I got to deal with people sitting by my front door having loud conversations, blocking the stairwell so I can't go down the stairs. These are all things that I've experienced in every single apartment complex that I've lived in. And from my observation, whenever I would look around at other people's apartment doors, you'd see nobody else in my vicinity that was having people sitting on their stairs, that was having people talking all loud by their windows. It was always my apartment, everywhere that I went. You got people that'll flood the parking spaces so that when you get off work or you're coming back from taking care of your business, you can't get a parking space that's close because you got these idiot perps that don't even live there that are deliberately taking up all the spaces. Why? So they can have you park your vehicle out of sight, so they can get in and out your vehicle and continue to pull their psychological operations of getting in and out of your vehicle, of sabotaging your vehicle, of moving things around to try to make it seem like you're crazy. That's what these people are doing. And I'm not the only person that is having to deal with that or go through that. I'm not. You know? So, this is just their way, again, of retaliation. Because I'm putting up all these videos. And I'm going to continue to put up these videos because I'm having crimes committed against me. Law enforcement they're not helping me. They're not helping me to try to resolve and find out what's going on with all this. I've already been to law enforcement already. What was the response that I got? It was actually Houston Police Department that I called when I was working at another job for this commercial real estate company. When I was getting my vehicle sabotaged and infiltrated, I contacted them and I asked them, you know, what could be done about the situation. Showed them some evidence of it. One of the officer's responses was, have you tried to get help? Well, sir, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get help. I'm calling you guys to see what you guys can do about this. No, have you tried to seek professional help, as in seeing a psychiatrist? So you already know where that conversation was going. So there was no need for me to go and report anything to any other law enforcement, because that's going to be pretty much the rebuttal for when you try to make a complaint. I even went to the FBI. I put a video up on that. The FBI admitted that they knew what was going on, and there was nothing that they could do about it, that they had their hands tied. Anthony, we know you're not crazy. We know what's going on. There's nothing we can do about it. We got our hands tied. So if the FBI knows what's going on, well, what exactly is keeping their hands tied? Why is it that they're not able to do anything about it? That's what I wanted to know. I couldn't get an answer. All I was told, or it was suggested that, well, he asked, do I pray? So what does that mean exactly? What is that supposed to mean? Is there something else that's going on here? So I don't know what to do. So I don't want my viewers thinking that, oh, I'm just going around committing a crime of, it's not trespassing unless they call and say, hey, this guy is trespassing on the property. You need to remove him. You understand what I'm saying? That's not what they told me initially. Initially, when he walked up to me, it's like, oh, we're just checking on you. We're just checking on you. Then he decided to contact them back or whatever, and then asked them, hey, do you want to have him removed? And I'm sure the verbiage that he used, he used such verbiage so that they would agree to have me removed, because he walked off with his cell phone. He walked off with his cell phone to talk to those people, because there's no telling what he told those people. Just like at the other church, I don't know what he told those people. Hey, here we go. Here's another law enforcement officer that is posted up right here. League City. Everywhere that I go, even if I get permission to be in places, I have footage that I haven't even posted where I actually had permission to be in the area that I was parked at, and I still got harassed by law enforcement. Still. I'm not retarded. I know that they have their perps calling in just so they can have an encounter. I know that they have their perps do that. They got perps in the church, just like they got perps out on the street. They've infiltrated. They're in every aspect or every facet of society. They're everywhere. These watchers, these Hitler brown shirt type people. Watching for what? What exactly are you watching? You watching me sleep in my car? You watching me read scripture? You watching me watching YouTube? You watching me while I'm cleaning up dog shit? I mean, that's my life. I live a very boring life. I don't go to clubs. I don't go to strip clubs. I don't go to bars. I go to parks. I go to lakefronts. I go to beaches. You get what I'm saying? I hang out in trees. I climb trees. What are you watching an individual like me for? There's child trafficking going on at the Stay and Play daycare off of Aldine Bender in Greens Point, Texas. And you're doing nothing about that, but you're sitting up there trying to watch me? I guess they figure if they're all in agreement that I'm crazy or that our targeted individuals are crazy, then that must be the case. Well, everybody else says that you're crazy, so you're crazy. None of us are crazy. These people are criminals. They are criminals. So they tried to pull an intimidation tactic on me. They had a couple of officers show up this time. What'd you need 2 officers for this time? And I handled the situation the same ways that I've handled all the other situations as well. I don't want the attention. I'm not looking for attention. I would rather be left the heck alone, is what I want, to be left in peace. Me sitting in a church parking lot is not a threat to anybody. It's not a threat. I am not a threat to nobody. Again, when he approached me, it wasn't about trespassing. He said, "Oh, I'm just checking on you." Does that theme sound familiar?